believe it or not, it's Friday. It doesn't feel like Friday because yesterday was Thanksgiving. And so yesterday kind of felt like Sunday, especially because we were watching football. And so today is Friday, even though it kind of feels like Monday.
Did you put on airplane mode?
No, I did not put
Let's
it on
do that
airplane.
again.
Now it's on airplane mode. Anyway, so happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. So, I don't know. It's Friday and we're chugging along. I did get some work done on the deck.
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
Okay. From Vegan Reader. Spencer, I have a 7T32-7C60 and the battery died, but I can't find a new one on Amazon. Where can I get an LR920H battery? Great vid, thanks.
Oh gosh, I should have done some research first because I know the 3-digit numbers, not the really super long one. I would just say I would put that number into eBay into Google and just get like Energizer and put that in, and it'll come up with the Energizer equivalent. Believe it or not, if I'm really like under the gun and I have to get a battery and it turns out I've run out of my big stocks, you go down to like CVS or the drugstore and they have a whole wall of tiny watches. I would bet that your watch is a it'll come to me. What?
Nothing.
It'll come to me. No, I can see the battery. Is it a 731?
I can look it up.
No, it's fine. I just have to go over here and grab the battery things. It's been a long day. Honey, talk to them about sushi.
Instead of turkey, we made sushi for Thanksgiving.
And how'd that work out?
It worked out just fine, and I made miso soup and seaweed salad.
Really?
Yeah, you were there.
Really? Was I?
Yes.
I think it's a 371.
You should confirm.
I think it's a 371, but you should confirm.
Okay.
So wait, 731. No, 371. 371. 371. I am kind of dyslexic and I flip numbers around.
From Mark Bloom. Hi guys, looks like you're feeling better. I have several Seiko dive watches, all with pretty much the same bracelet, and the dive extensions kind of dig into my wrist, and I'm wondering if the extensions can be removed. Hope you guys have a blessed holiday.
It should be able to be removed. I'm sure there are generic clasps that can go one from the other. If these are like, are you talking about like it's a Jubilee bracelet? I'm pretty sure that just standard folds exist in the, what you do is you just measure that clasp, whatever it is, it's like 16 or 17 millimeters or whatever it is, and just see if there's just the clasp available. I just would do this is literally me, I would do a Google search and see if I could come up with an option that would show that. I don't have a drop-in ready like option, but that's what I would do. That's not a very helpful answer, but you know, we would be starting in the same place.
From DJ Lacken. Good morning, Spencer. I have acquired sorry, a Seiko Age of Discovery 6M15 9000 quartz watch. It is an amazing watch, but I have a question. I am having a problem resetting the second hand when used as a chronograph. I have followed the manual, but when I use the chrono, the second hand will move from 1 to 9 seconds to anywhere on the dial. Have you any ideas on this? And thanks for the great videos.
If I had to guess, it sounds like you're having a connection problem. I have two answers, neither of which are good, both of which involve poking around inside the watch. There's either a connection problem, where the CMOS is not talking to the circuit well, or it needs a service because that register is hanging up. Just one second. I'm trying to do this. Why is that blinking red? Hang on just one second. Oh my goodness gracious. There it is. There it goes.
Green.
It's green.
Yay, the microphone's green.
Yay, the microphone's green. That's great. So I don't know what that just sounded like, but it might not have been awesome. Sorry. Okay. So the problem with that era, when you get into that era of Seiko, they move to a lot more, they're hell on wheels to service. They're still a very complex movement. They've got all these, crazy gear interactions and separate trains and everything, but they're almost all plastic, and they're very tightly built. And honestly, I've shied away from doing any servicing on them. Simply, I mean, I've done some, but they are just, they're meant to be serviced, but they're just not something I really have experience with. But whenever I see something like that, the circuit is not talking correctly, or you have a register hanging up. That's, again, without seeing it, that's not a great answer. Sorry.
You're not having any luck today.
I'm not having any luck. I don't know everything, believe me. And if I don't know something, I will say, I don't know. And I'm not going to BS my way up and come up with some answer to sort of fill space. I don't know.
Okay. From Frankie Eisenberg. I found a Seiko Arnie H558 5009 at a thrift store yesterday for $80. Wow.
Wow.
I am replacing the shroud with an upgraded black one, which is very similar to the original, just a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
The band I ordered is identical and genuine Seiko. The watch is in really decent shape compared to most of the ones I see online. For $80, I'm sure it's beautiful.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you've got white loom and if everything is functional, boy, you made out. Your watch is worth 10 times what you paid.
It's working completely fine. What do you think the value of my watch will be? Do external replacement parts lessen the value of the watch?
Normally, yeah, external replacement parts might lessen the value of the watch, but the shrouds on those Arnies, they're made of some kind of early high-impact plastic, and sometimes they're perfectly fine, but when they begin to degrade, they'll just start cracking. I've gotten them in where they just shatter. You touch them with your hands and they just come to pieces. They shatter like incredibly weak, brittle glass. And the reproduction shrouds that are being made now are really good. If you get one of the new high impact plastic ones, visually it's impossible to tell one from the other. Really, I mean they're so good. So, yeah, maybe, but they go bad. The originals go bad so quickly, and the replacements are so good. And Seiko doesn't make replacements. It's the best you're going to be able to do. It's the least worrisome thing about the watch. I don't really think it would hit the value, because if I was looking at an Arnie, a completely original Arnie that had its original shroud, all I would think of is, when is this shroud going to start disintegrating? Because that's what's going to happen. So I don't think that's an advantage. Okay.
$80 though.
$80.
I haven't heard of a deal like that in a really long time. Okay, from Shipmate. I think this is about the Pogue? I have no idea. Very pretty watch. I wish Seiko would re-release these and the Pogue. Oh, I guess it's not the Pogue. Spencer, can you do a video on how you learned how to work on Seikos?
First thing, that video was about the 6105. There are rumors that the next reissue watch that Seiko's going to come up with is going to be a reissue of the 6105. Frankly, I mean, they've done the 62 MAS, they did the 6309, they've done the 6159 now. I can't imagine why they wouldn't go ahead and redo the 6105. Judging by their past performance with reissuing their stuff, they're going to get a myriad of things wrong. And it won't, the original, all it will, in my opinion, all it will end up doing is what it's done with the other reissues, which is to massively drive up the price of originals. I don't know. It's just one of those things, but we'll see. I'd be flabbergasted if they don't come up with a reissue of that watch, and it will be something. I've talked a number of times about how I learned to do this, and the short answer is I more or less taught myself. I had definitely a lot of guidance and a lot of input from a number of people. There was a master watchsmith here in town, and I met with him and talked with him. There are a number of people online that I spoke with over the course of, a number of years. The National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors forum, there's master watchmakers all over that stuff. But like almost everything else in my life, I learned by simply doing it, by just jumping in. It just boop, jump. And, and also reading documentation. The Seiko servicing guides are invaluable. But I work on watches all the time. I read about watches all the time. And it's just, I don't know that it's sustainable for somebody who isn't sort of monomaniacal like I am for this kind of stuff. I don't.
That's your vocab word for the day.
I mean, I'm just so heavily focused on one single thing, and not to say that it can't be done. I did it, but I think sometimes my brain is wired weirdly, and I don't think I process
But
it.
if you really want to do it, do it. I had faith in him. I have faith in you, person.
Remember the quote from Jake the dog, which is the first step to being good at something is to suck at it. There it is. The first step to being good at something is to be terrible at it, because you have to start somewhere, and you have to be awful. You have to say, you know what, I'm going to be terrible, but by starting and doing this, eventually I'm going to get better.
Hopefully, but yes, I don't think I could. But if you have faith in yourself, I have faith in you. Okay, from Human Factor. Hey Spencer, another great video. I loved the comparison between the Rolex Sub and the 62 MAS. The 62 MAS is my grail watch one day. In the meantime, I know Seiko had done a reissue, but I would love to see them do an affordable reissue. Anyway, I digress. My question is about the Cyclops magnifier over the date window, which seems ubiquitous with Rolex watches, but I don't think I have ever seen a stock Seiko with a Cyclops magnifier. Has Seiko ever applied a magnifier to their watches?
Yeah, a couple times. The second generation of the Stargates have a magnifier, and Seiko's been doing them more. The more recent versions of the 6309 reissues, the SRPs, have them. The limited edition ones have a big double magnifier that goes over the day and the date. So yeah, they do them every now and then. I don't know. That's pretty much about it. 62 MASs, yeah, they're a grail watch. People really want them. I've owned 4, 5. I've sold them all.
I can't keep track.
I tend to not wear them. They're super cool. They are really cool. There's just, from a personal perspective, there's something about them that doesn't work on my wrist.
You like bigger watches.
I think so. But there's something just, I don't know what it is. There's just, I never end up wearing them, and then they get sold. Sorry. If I come up with one, I will let you know.
From Romy360. Curious, does the Seiko 6138 have parts that are interchangeable with any other Seiko movements? I thought I heard that a 6139 6138 was built as a module on top of a regular Seiko movement.
No, that whole thing, that's like a Speedmaster reduced, like an Omega Speedmaster reduced. They have a basic ETA 3-hand movement, and then they have like a module that bolts onto the top that makes that then pulls power from the 3-hand and converts that whole thing into a chronograph. The 6139 and 6138 chronographs were purpose-built chronographs. There's no modularity going on. There is, they have a lot of, the entire 6000 series watches, they have a lot of interchangeability. Seiko they would come up with a base caliber, and then they would modify it as needed to make these different things. The only sort of module thing there is that when you go from a 6139, which is a single register chronograph, to a 6138, which is a double register chronograph, you have to add the complication for the 12-hour register up the top. And so what Seiko did is they took that 6139 movement and they added a plate on the top. And so they moved the calendar elements, some of them, up one level, put this plate on it, and then between that added calendar plate and the main plate, they added the levers, the reset levers and gearing, etc., and everything for the 12-hour wheel. But it's not really a module thing. They added an extra plate. Oh, and talking about reissuing the Pogue, Seiko would have to be willing to do mass production again on their vertical column chronographs. And I don't know that they've ever shown the desire to do that. But again, knowing Seiko, they would get critical elements wrong, and it would look kind of weird, because everything they've ever reissued, that's the problem with it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And about the orange watch from Brian Schmidt.
Hi, Brian.
You know that you had to get a shout out.
Yeah, it's true. Brian, who's asking this question, he's one of my oldest friends. We've been buddies since we were 14. And Brian has been talking about a couple of, just chat. I forgot to grab them.
I don't know what to chat about.
Well, it's okay. It's not going to take me long.
Oh, okay.
Brian likes orange watches. He's not necessarily a watch guy. He's a video game designer. So, Brian, this is the watch that you have been lusting after for years and years and years. This is a 6106 7107 70-meter sport diver. Seiko introduced these in 1969. And they're very cool. The inner thing turns, and that's cool. The picture that you commented on was of a Seiko modern diver, an SKX 011J, and these came out in the mid-2000s. So, I mean, obviously they're both orange.
I love this one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a cool watch. That's a cool watch.
Because, like, for my opinion on things, I typically like dark dials. See, move dark dial. And I kind of like how Seiko went totally wacky with the bright orange. Wacky. And I don't know, I like that shade of orange. It's just fun.
I swear there's something about this particular color of orange and the way the watch is laid out. This watch model is the only one that a woman has ever commented on my wrist. I was wearing one 6 or 7 years ago when I went into the sandwich shop. Sandwich Girl. And there was Sandwich Girl was there, and I first noticed Sandwich Girl because she was like, "What's up with your watch? Tell me about your watch." And because she loved it because it was orange. But yeah, that's the thing. So good old Sandwich Girl. I wonder how she's doing.
I don't know, the sandwich shop doesn't exist anymore.
That's right, it closed down. And I had that great bakery that was right next to it too.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, the sandwich place, and then they started not being stocked up, and then everything went south.
The thing with Fort Collins is there are so many restaurants, it's ridiculous, and there's such a high turnover rate. It's like if you're a restaurant that's been here forever, you're good unless you're Old Chicago's.
Or Canino's. No, not Canino's. What's the Italian restaurant in Old Town?
I can't remember.
Bizzetti's. That was the restaurant that we used to go to. Not we. That's the restaurant that we kids used to go to for like date night for like school dances. You'd go to Bizzetti's. It was the fancy restaurant.
And Washington's.
And well, no, that was that was just a college drunk bar.
I know, but they've been there. They were there forever.
Forever and ever.
Then okay. Ignore my.
No, she's right. But like a lot of Fort Collins has a really really hardcore economy, and everybody's moving here, and it's been going on like this for decades, and people are moving here, and there's food trucks and restaurants. There's like 500 restaurants within a 5-mile radius of our house, and it's just nuts, and it's competitive. It's hard to stay in business. But anyway, Sandwich Girl is gone. But
maybe she's making sandwiches for somebody else.
Maybe. But anyway, she loved this model watch, and so does Brian. Brian can also tell you all about what this town has, what it used to be like and what it is now. Different world for
10 years I've been here. So.
No kidding. Anyway, that's about it. Happy Thanksgiving. We're now into the rest of the holiday season.
I love Christmas.
She does love Christmas. It's true. She loves Christmas, and we're looking forward to that. And that all should be pretty cool. That's really about it. I thank you so much. We hope that if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you had a great one. Other than that, man, rock on. See you later. Bye-bye.